Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, Dandavat pranams to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in for Prabhupada book study session. So, we'll start with the prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरदुषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्र पादमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं हरि ओं तत्सत् गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तरालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. So thank you for joining in again. Today we are starting with chapter number 3 of this book, Transcendental Teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. So in the second chapter, we ended on this note that we've got this human form of life, which is the greatest fortune. If we don't utilize this human form of life to understand ourselves, understand who the Lord is, what is our relationship with the Lord, if we waste our time in not understanding these things, but rather spend our time like animals, like eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then we will gradually glide ourselves into the lower species or to the lower planets, as the case may be. So, in this chapter, which we're going to talk about, is again entitled Family Illusion. Right? We're going to speak about how Prahlad Maharaj instructed his friends. Kaumaram Acharet Pragna. That means from childhood, one has to take up this path of Krishna consciousness very seriously. Because this in Kali Yuga, as it is, our Ayu is very less. Prayan Alpa Yusha Sabya, Kalavasmin Yugejana, Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagyo Putrata. Right? We already have very low Ayu and we are misguided, we are unintelligent, we are quarrelsome, we don't have the intelligence, we don't have the purify with the articles which are pure to perform any other process. So simply by chanting Hare Krishna we can attain perfection, but we need to do it sincerely with enthusiasm, and it is best to be started when at a young age. That's what Prahlad Maharaj he actually spoke this transcendental philosophy. Whenever his teacher Sandar Amarka would give a break, then Prahlad Maharaj will start his class, right? So, and this class is more important than the teachings by the Sandar Amarka, because they were teaching Hiranyakashipu Navaha, right? And during this little break, now he used to actually teach his friends how it is very important to start our Krishna consciousness process right from childhood. So let's continue reading a very wonderful chapter where it actually cuts our illusion. Right? We are all attached to our families, our society, our country, and all of that, right? But we should be attached to only one family. That family is ISKCON, right? Where we want to serve Prabhupada. If we simply satisfy and serve Prabhupada, then we will go back to that eternal Goloka Vrindavan Dham, right? Prabhupada says, I will take you back. Just follow the regulative principles and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 16 rounds minimum. All right. So if devotees would like to read, you can raise your hands. And then we will quickly, today, these are very, very small chapters. We'll see how much we can cover in this chapter today. Okay. Sindhu Mataji, go ahead. Family illusion. Yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Pranams Mataji.
Oh, you have to unmute yourself. Yeah. Have you?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, Mataji.
Third chapter, Family Illusion. Prahlad Maharaja told his friends, you have to begin Krishna consciousness immediately. All the boys were born of atheistic, materialistic families, but fortunately they had the association of Prahlada, who was a great devotee of the Lord from his birth. Whenever he found an opportunity, when the teacher was out of the classroom, he used to say, my dear friends, let's chant Hare Krishna. This is the time to begin Krishna consciousness. Now, as we have stated, some boy might have said, but we are just boys. Let us play. We are not going to die immediately. Let us have some enjoyment and later we shall begin Krishna consciousness. People do not know that Krishna consciousness is the highest enjoyment. They think that the boys and girls who have joined this Krishna conscious movement are foolish. By Prabhupada's influence, they have joined Krishna consciousness and left everything enjoyable. But actually, this is not so. They are all intelligent, educated boys and girls coming from a very respectable families. They are not fools. In our society, they are actually enjoying life. Otherwise, they would not have sacrificed their valuable time for this movement. Actually, there is joyful life in Krishna consciousness, but people do not know of it. They say, what use is this Krishna consciousness? When one grows up entangled in the sense gratification process, it's very difficult to get out of it. Therefore, according to the Vedic regulations, in student life, beginning from 5 years of age, boys are taught about spiritual life. That is called brahmacharya. A brahmachari dedicates his life to attaining supreme consciousness, Krishna consciousness, or Brahman consciousness. Brahmachari. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means, Prabhupada also explains in several of his books. Prabhupada talks about 0 to 25. That is the age when spiritual knowledge has to be accumulated. Even we have the, the Gurukul system where the boys are sent to the ashram of the Guru and taught the Vedic knowledge, right? And until 25 years, everyone has to undergo this knowledge, right? Unfortunately, we are only pursuing material knowledge in today's day and time. But what is actual knowledge that needs to be pursued is the transcendental knowledge, the inquiry from a bona fide spiritual master. So 0 to 25, you acquire the transcendental knowledge. And then you decide whether you want to continue. For boys, they may want to continue as Naishtika brahmacharis throughout their life, dedicating their life to the Supreme Lord. For the others, for girls and for others, who they may enter into Grahastha ashram, right? Chaturvida, what is that? Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam gunakarma vibhagasha. So Krishna only has given us these 4 ashramas and 4 varnas that we can choose. We can choose according to our nature, according to our activities, according to our desire, how we can dovetail our propensities and activities and desires in the service of the Lord by choosing the appropriate ashrama or by choosing the appropriate varna, right? We have brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha or sannyasi. Right, most of us, 99% of the population, become grihasthas. Right, so as grihasthas, how we can serve the Supreme Lord? Very easy method, especially in this age of Kali. Right, we simply have to chant Hare Krishna, follow the 4 regulative principles. Whomever we meet, we tell them about Krishna, and then we follow the ABCD square formula. That is it. If we do this very sincerely, Prabhupada says, I will take you back home, back to Godhead. Isn't it? Such a simple method, especially for most of us who are grahasthas. Very, very simple process. We don't have to give up family attachments. We don't have to leave home and go to the forest. We don't have to do anything. What we simply need to do is follow ABCD square for the chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, minimum 16 rounds, and follow the 4 regulative principles. And whomever we may meet, our neighbor, our friends, our colleagues, whom we meet in the normal course of affairs, we just tell them, chant Hare Krishna, like Prahlad Maharaja, how he preached, right? Prahlad Maharaja simply told them, okay, now we have a little bit of break time, let us chant Hare Krishna, right? So similarly, in the office or in the, wherever we are meeting with our friends, right? Whenever there is a little bit of time, according to time, place, and circumstances, we need to just encourage them a little bit in Krishna consciousness. We can distribute Prabhupada's books. We can ask them to sponsor for Bhagavad Gita's. In this way, slowly, when they engage in these activities, then they will develop interest, right? So whatever we contemplate in our mind, whatever we hear, whatever we speak, whomever we associate with, Like that we become. So when we associate with senior devotees, we have to take their association, right? What can I learn from this session? Well, how can I understand? How can I make my own devotional service more sincere? How can I please Srila Prabhupada and my Guru Maharaj more? That should be our attitude. We should try to take their association. Similarly, when we meet new people who are not yet introduced to Krishna consciousness, or our colleagues or our friends, then we have to give our association. Whatever we have heard from our senior devotees, that we tell according to time, place, and circumstances. Right? So association we have to do throughout. Right? But we need to decide whose association we need to take, whom we need to follow, and whom we need to give our association, whom we need to give the transcendental knowledge of Krishna consciousness. So in this way, whomever we meet, either we receive transcendental knowledge from them or we give transcendental knowledge. So in this way, we can be engaged 24 hours in Krishna consciousness. And here, Prabhupada mentions what Prahlad also mentions, right? That beginning from 5 years of age, boys are taught about spiritual life, and this is called brahmacharya. But is this restricted only to boys? No. Why? Because we can see that Prabhupada, he actually gave this Brahminical initiation even to ladies, right? Who also chant the Brahmana Gayatri. Why? Because inherently we are spirit souls. So many people, so many ladies who are disciples of Prabhupada used to ask Prabhupada, right? Especially that verse is there, right? Even ladies and Shudras can take up this process of Krishna consciousness, right? Shudras tathaivacha, like that. So Prabhupada said that is only for normal ladies, right? People who are materialistic. Generally, when ladies meet, what do they talk? They talk more about, oh, where did you buy this sari? What did you cook for breakfast today? Where are you going shopping? This, that, right? The Deepavali is coming, how much are you paying your servant maid? That is what generally, that is a discussion, right? Even in my society WhatsApp group, that is what goes on. How much you are paying for mopping? Okay, this, when are we going to have our next Ganesh festival? Whom can we go and collect donation, right? It's all, the activities are very, very wonderful. But is the dovetailing happening to the right place? That is where we miss the point, right? Otherwise, we also go for donations, we also collect donations, we also put up wonderful festivals. But what is the distinction? The distinction is only in the consciousness. There is no distinction in the activity. The activity remains the same. We go to office, we associate with the people in the society, right? We also contribute, towards the upkeep and the maintenance of the society, etc., etc. We do the same activity. But our consciousness is how this can help us progress in our devotional life. Because that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Most intelligent people, they do this. What do they do? Yajanti hi sumetasa. What do they do? Yajanti. That means they worship the Supreme Lord. Whatever activities they do, they don't give up artificially. But they utilize all of those activities to see, intelligently understand how I can dovetail this propensity of mine. How can I dovetail this association of mine in encouraging the other person to take up this path of bhakti. That is all it is about it. All right. So let's continue reading. Brahmacharya has many rules and regulations. Yeah. So I was just explaining here that this is not restricted only to boys, right? Wherever we are, irrespective of whether we are in a Gurukul or in the home, right? Prabhupada actually in the longest purport to the Bhagavad Gita, he actually talks about it. He talks about children who are born in Vaishnava families. Vaishnava families means whose father, mother are already practicing Krishna Bhakti. And he also tells that my spiritual master and myself, right? And our humble self, like the Prabhupada says, we were also be fortunate to be born in a Vaishnava family. In this way, even if you're not sending our children to Gurukul, we give them this devotional atmosphere at home, that when they wake up to the, like Prabhupada says, when I woke up, I used to hear the ding, ding, ding sound, where the bell sound, where Aarti is performed by my father, Gaur Mohan Dey, like that. So we can also give this atmosphere to our children at home, right from the beginning, right from the time the child is born until 25, right? After that, or even these days, the teenagers also, right? They want to make their own independent decisions, right? So until at least till 16, 17, when we have a little bit of control, like so to speak, we have a little bit of authority over our children. That time we should give them Krishna consciousness, and then that lays a proper foundation for them to make the right decisions for the end of the life, right? Prabhupada also tells that these are all, Vaikuntha children. You have to take care of them very nicely. And when we give them the proper foundation, even if they want to explore, right, as teenagers, even we explored our teenage life and then we took up Krishna consciousness. These children also, even if they want to explore a little bit of this world, etc., they will come back to track. Why? Because their foundation is established very nicely. So now here, when Prabhupada is talking about boys, he's especially talking about Gurukul. Their Gurukul is established where, even Lord Krishna was sent to Sandipani Muni's ashram, where he learned the 64 arts in 64 days, like that. Right? So this Gurukul is especially for boys. Right? But for girls, such sanskar can be given at home, especially in Vaishnava families. The sanskar can be given at home. It is also said that when a man becomes a devotee, one person becomes a devotee. But when a woman becomes a devotee, the entire family becomes a devotee. Right? Because we have the special hatyar of giving Krishna prasadam to our family members. And in this way, we bring the entire family to Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So it is equally applicable to boys and girls. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. Who wants to read? Anyone would like to read? Okay. Karpagavalli Mataji, go ahead. Brahmacharya has many rules and regulations. Yes. Mataji, you have to unmute yourself. Yes. We can see you but not hear you.
Thank you.
Little bit of disturbance is there, Mataji. Your voice is breaking actually.
Brahmacharya has many rules. Okay, I mean, the net problem is okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Brahmacharya has many rules and regulations. For example, however rich one's father may be, the Brahmachari surrenders himself to be trained under the guidance of a spiritual master and works in the ashram of a spiritual master just like a menial servant. How is this possible? We are getting actual experience that very nice boys coming from very respectable families do not hesitate to do any kind of work here. They are washing dishes, cleansing floors, and everything. One student's mother was astonished at her baby boy when he visited home. Before, he would not even go to the store, and now he is engaged 24 hours a day. Unless one feels pleasure, how is it possible that one can engage himself in such a process as Krishna consciousness? This is due only to the chanting of Krishna consciousness. Krishna Hare Krishna. This is our single asset. The Hare Krishna mantra, one can be very jolly simply by Krishna consciousness. Actually, it is a joyful life, but unless one is trained, one cannot live it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So here, a very beautiful point mentioned by Prabhupada. Right? What is that? Susukam kartum avyayam. Right? Because the Krishna consciousness process itself is so blissful that we don't need an extraneous motivating factor, right, to actually make us engage in this process, right? Which means, sometimes when we string garlands for the Lord, or when we make a boga offering for the Lord, the process itself is so blissful. Oh, I'm cooking something for the Lord, right? Srimati Radharani is engaging me in the service, right? She herself personally engages in such services for the Lord. And by her grace and by the grace of her spiritual master, by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, we are engaging in that kind of high activities directly for the pleasure of the Lord. Right? Cooking directly for Lord Sri Krishna in our own home. Isn't that so wonderful? Isn't it? So here Prabhupada is talking about how you can see a transformation in the activities of even the children, right? Sometimes they don't want to do anything, right? But of course, children are children. But sometimes at least they come and tell, okay, today I will do Gaurarti. Mommy, today I will do Mangalarti. Today I will do Tulsi Arti, like that. The taste is there, right? Of course, when they have their exams and they always miss, but that is also okay. But that propensity is already there in the heart, right? Because of the association, because the family is doing it, you already have that propensity in the heart. And why is it so? It is due to the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Prabhupada says this is our single asset, right? Nothing else is more valuable to us than our Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the greatest gift that we've received from the Guru Parampara. Because simply by chanting Hare Krishna, even if we are not able to do deity worship, even if we are not able to do aratis, we are not able to do other activities, simply if we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, with a sincere heart, then our life will be perfect. Of course, if we can do the other angas of bhakti, we should do. It's not that I will only sit and chant. One of the people who actually asked Prabhupada, they just want to go to Vrindavan and they want to chant Hare Krishna. And then Prabhupada said we should not artificially do that because we are not situated in that circumstance. Because ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसान् संगस्तेषु उपजायते. Sangat sanjayate kama, kama krodhod vijayate. Right? Krishna himself tells in Bhagavad Gita, whatever we think of in our mind, that is what we will hanker after. Right? We are not so qualified that we can go to Vrindavan and chant 24 hours a day. So we should not artificially think that we are so advanced. Rather, under the instructions of our Shiksha Gurus and our Diksha Guru, we should follow their instructions. We should chant minimum 16 rounds and then engage in the services as allotted by our authority. That is our single greatest asset. And then Prabhupada says one can be very jolly simply by Krishna consciousness. Susukam Kartumavyam. Krishna also says that. Actually, Krishna consciousness is a joyful life, right? I mentioned in one of the sessions, Sridhar Maharaj, one of the disciples of Prabhupada, sannyasi disciples of Prabhupada, he was saying, Hum kate pite golok jayenge, right? We are not going to do unnecessary austerities, do this, do that, take up the Ashtanga yoga, sit down, meditate, and then sleep off, right? You don't have to do all that. Now we have nice Krishna Prasadam. If you have a propensity to dance, we dance for Krishna. If you like singing, we sing some nice bhajans for Krishna. If we like to dress nicely, then we dress the deities and then we wonder at the beauty of the deities, isn't it? So there is scope for everybody and anybody in Krishna consciousness. According to our propensity, we can do the ABCD square, chanting Hare Krishna, and our extra time, whatever we have, right? We have an intellectual bent of mind. We can prepare slides. We can prepare notes for other people, right? Or if you have a like I said, somebody who dances well can dance for the pleasure of the Lord, sing, recite shlokas, give classes, speak about Krishna, hear about Krishna. In any case, all of us have immense opportunities how we can be joyfully engaged in Krishna consciousness. So who will not take up this process of Krishna consciousness, like that Prabhupada is saying. All right. Okay, and one more important point is Prabhupada is talking about training. Unless one is trained, one cannot. Unless one is trained, one cannot live it. Live it means, yeah, like I was saying, hearing this Bhagavata Saptaha, like we were discussing in other class also, right? Hearing from those who are professional speakers, that is not going to transform our life, right? So what is important is our hearing, is our chanting, transforming our life. Transforming means what? Am I more inclined to chant Hare Krishna? Am I more inclined to do service to Krishna? Am I more inclined to associate with senior devotees? Am I more inclined to perform seva for the Lord, either at home or in the temple? That is the measure of progress. And one can progress only when one is trained how to do it. All right, let's move ahead. Okay, I saw some question. We'll take it in the end. Yeah. Okay. Shaligram Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna mantra. One can be very jolly simply by Krishna consciousness. Actually, it is a joyful life, but unless one is trained, one cannot live it. Prahlad Maharaj says that everyone is attached to the family affection. If one is attached to the family affairs, he cannot control his senses. Naturally, everyone wants to love someone. Society, friendship, and love are needed. They are demands of the spirit soul, but they are being pervertedly reflected. I have seen that many ladies and gentlemen in your country have no family life, but they have placed their love in cats and dogs because they want to love someone but do not see anyone suitable. They place their valuable love in cats and dogs. Our concern is to transfer our love, which has to be placed somewhere, to Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. If you transfer your love to Krishna, that is perfection. But now, because people are being frustrated and cheated, they do not know where to place their love, and at last they place their love in cats and dogs. Everyone is entangled by the material love. It is very difficult to develop spiritual life when one is advanced in material love because their bondage of love is very strong. Therefore, Prahlad proposes that one should learn Krishna consciousness from childhood. When a child is 5 or 6 years old, as soon as his consciousness is developed, he should be sent to school to be trained. And Prahlad Maharaj says that his education should be Krishna conscious from the very beginning. This period from 5 to 15 years is a very valuable time. You can train any child in Krishna consciousness and he will become perfect. If a child is not trained in Krishna consciousness, should I continue, Mataji?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, and instead becomes advanced in materialism. It is difficult for him to develop spiritual life. What is materialism? Materialism means that all of us in this material world, although we are spiritual souls, spirit souls, how somehow or other want to enjoy this material world. The spirit of enjoyment is present in this its pure form in the spiritual world in relation to Krishna. But we have come here to partake of the contaminated enjoyment. Just as a man on the beverage things he can enjoy by drinking some liquor, the basic principle of material enjoyment is sex. Therefore, you will find sex not only in human society, but in cat society, dog society, bird society, everywhere. During the daytime, a pigeon has sex at least 20 times. This is his enjoyment. The Srimad
Thank you,
Bhagavatam
Mataji.
confirmed. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So here Prabhupada is giving the example of how sense gratification can be performed in a better way than human beings by even the animal species, right? If it is eating, we cannot compete with the pig and win over in the eating competition, right? The pigs will win, right? Similarly, pigeons can have sex 20 times a day, like that is mentioned, right? At least 20 times. That is the enjoyment, right? So we will, according to the interest that we develop, whether we want to eat more or whether we want to sleep more or whether we want to have sex more or whether we want to defend ourselves more, in that way there are specific species which can do that very well, even better than human beings, right? So then we will glide ourselves to such lower species if you are so attracted to either drinking liquor or overeating or eating a non-vegetarian or whatever it may be. If you're interested in all of these things, then we will prepare ourselves to get a body like that where we can enjoy that, right? A pig will never think twice before eating the stool, isn't it? So similarly, we should be very careful what is the desire that I'm harboring in my mind. Because according to our desires, our activities will follow, and according to that, our next body will come. Right? So we have to be very careful what desire I'm having. I should not have any desire other than serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Because if that is the only desire I'm harboring, then I am actually moving towards the spiritual world where there is no Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi, where there is every opportunity for me to associate with like-minded people to serve the Supreme Lord, right? And when I have those kind of desires, even in this material world, Krishna will arrange for such association for us, where we can engage in the service of the Lord in with like-minded devotees, right? Somebody who's also interested in hearing Bhagavatam, you can discuss Bhagavatam with them, you can discuss Nectar of Devotion with them, we can discuss Prabhupada's books with them, right? Somebody who's also interested in garland making, we can do this process of stringing the garlands for the Lord along with them. Somebody who's interested in reciting shlokas, we can sing and learn shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita with them, right? Somebody who likes cooking, we jointly we cook for the pleasure of the Lord. We make 56 bogas for the Lord on important occasions, like that. We associate with like-minded devotees and engage in the service of the Lord. That is why even we see birds of the same feather flock together. Right? People who have the same interests, they generally always together as a community. So we want to associate with those people who also have the same desire to go back home, back to Godhead, to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In that way, we will determine our next destination also, that we are always in the association of devotees. And in that way, we are always interested in serving the Lord and his devotees. Like that. All right. Okay, so let's move ahead. We'll read now. Kirti Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
The Srimad Bhagavatam confirms that material enjoyment is based upon nothing more than sexual combination of man and woman. In the beginning, a boy thinks, oh, that girl is nice, and the girl says, that boy is nice. When they meet, that material contamination becomes more prominent, and when they actually enjoy sex, they become more attached, completely attached. How? As soon as a boy and girl are married, they want an apartment. Then they have children. And when they have children, they want social recognition, society, friendship, and love. In this way, the material attachment goes on increasing. And all of this requires money. A man who is too materialistic will cheat anyone, kill anyone, beg, borrow, or steal anything to bring money. He knows that his buildings, his family, his wife, and his children cannot continue to exist perpetually. They are just like bubbles in the ocean. They have come into existence, and after a while, they will be gone. But he is too much attached. He will sacrifice his spiritual advancement for the pursuit of money to maintain them. His perverted consciousness, I am this body. I belong to this material world. I belong to this country. I belong to this community. I belong to this religion. I belong to this family, becomes greater and greater. Where is his Krishna consciousness? He becomes so entangled that money becomes more valuable to him than his own life. In other words, he can risk his money, he can risk his life for money. The householder, the laborer, the merchant, the thief, the dacoit, the rogue, everyone is after money. This is illusion. One loses himself in the midst of this entanglement. Prahlada Maharaja Prahlada Maharaja says that in this state, when you are too much implicated in materialism, you cannot cultivate Krishna consciousness. Therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from early childhood. Of course, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so kind that he says, better late than never. Even though you missed the opportunity to begin Krishna consciousness from childhood, begin now, in whatever position you are. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching. He never said, because you did not begin Krishna consciousness from your childhood, you cannot make progress. No, he is very kind. He has given us this nice process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Whether you're young or old, no matter what you are, just begin. You do not know when your life will be finished. If you chant sincerely, even for a moment, it will have great effect. It will save you from the greatest danger, becoming an animal in your next life. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Thank you. Very good. So here, very, very beautiful point given by Prabhupada, right? One is Prahlad Maharaj's own teaching, which is talking about how we have to start our process of Krishna consciousness as soon as possible, as young as possible, right? But some of us may have come into Krishna consciousness in our 20s, in our 30s, some of us in our 40s, whatever may be. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is even more merciful. Why? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna himself who's come in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Right? So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is his teaching? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying it doesn't matter whether you are young or old, whether you are a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra, whether you are a Brahmachari or a Grihastha or a Vanaprastha or a Sannyasi, does not matter. Right? Because he is Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate. Because his incarnation is to give Krishna Prema to everybody, Krishna Nama to everybody. He's saying you simply have to chant Hare Krishna. Whatever be the time, whatever be the place, whatever be the circumstances, whatever be the age, whatever be the occupation, whatever be the gender, does not matter. Right? We simply have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then whether we are young or old, whether we are whatever is our Varna or Ashrama, we simply need to chant sincerely, and it will have great effect. And it will save you from the greatest danger. What is the greatest danger? The greatest danger is to lose the fortune that we've received, which is this human body, right? In Ishopanishad, Ishopanishad or Nectar of Devotion, it is stated how this human body is the boat which can help us or cross over the material world, and the spiritual master is the captain of the ship, right? The human body is the ship that will cross over the material existence. The spiritual master is the captain of the ship, and the Vedic scriptures are the favorable winds. So we have all the favorable things that can help us perfect our life in this lifetime. We have a human body. We have International Study of Krishna Consciousness. We have Prabhupada's books. We have a spiritual master. We have the holy name. What we have to do? We simply have to use this, and we can go back home, back to Godhead. So what do we have to do? Only thing we have to do is we have to chant with faith and in sincerity. That is all. And then we'll be saved from the greatest danger. Neha Bhikramanashosti Pratyavayona Vidyate. Neha Bhikramanashosti. There is no loss or diminution in this path. Pratyavayona Vidyate. Swalpam apiyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. It will help us from falling into the greatest danger, which is gliding down to lower species or gliding down to the lower planetary systems, hellish planets, right? So at least that much we can be assured of a human body, even if we don't perfect our life. Secondly, we continue from where we left off. Right? We study in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, somebody who's practiced yoga, Bhakti Yoga for a long time, and then he even falls down, he's born in a family of devotees where he will continue his process. Somebody who's practiced Bhakti Yoga for a short time, he'll be born in a probably in a wealthy family, aristocratic family, etc., where he has opportunities to contribute something, and in this way increase his bhakti sukriti and then engage in bhakti, like that. So wherever a person has left in his previous life, if one is not perfected, one can continue from that particular stage in his next level. And the best thing is to go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime, because we have all the facilities. So who knows what is the kind of facility we will get in the next life? Do we have any control? No. This minute I have a control of what I can do, what I want to do. So this minute, this second, if I utilize it in the service of the Lord, and like that, every second is being utilized in the service of the Lord. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshayat. Some or the other, I always chant, I hear about the glories of the Lord, I always remember the Lord. That is perfection of life. Even in living in this world, that is the perfection of life. All right, so let's do the last paragraph now. Who will read? Okay, Sarvagopishni Mataji will end with you. Please read. Although only 5 years old.
Hare Krishna Mata.
Hare Krishna.
So only 5 years old, Prahlad Maharaj speaks just like a very experienced and educated man, because he received knowledge from his spiritual master Narada Muni. That is disclosed in the next chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam 7.7. Wisdom does not depend on age, but on knowledge received from a superior source. One cannot become a wise man simply by advancement of age. No, that is not possible. Knowledge has to be received from a superior source. Then one can become wise. It doesn't matter whether one is 5 years old boy or a 50-year-old man. As it is said, by wisdom one becomes an old man, even without advanced age. So, although Prahlad was only 5 years old, by advancement in knowledge, he was imparting perfect instruction to his classmate. Some may find these instructions unpalatable. Suppose a man is already married and Prahlad says, take to Krishna consciousness. He will think, oh, how can I leave my wife? We talk too nicely together, sit together and enjoy. How can I leave? Family attraction is very strong. I am an old man, 72 years old. I have been away from my family during the last 14 years. Yet sometimes I also think of my wife and children. This is quite natural, but that doesn't mean that I have to go back. This is knowledge. When the mind wanders to thoughts of sense gratification, one should at once understand this is illusion. According
Hare
to
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, thank you, Hare Krishna. So here we'll end here. A very, very wonderful, profound point Prabhupada is making here. Right? Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsam Sangasteshu Bhajayate. It is the characteristic of the mind to run here, there like a monkey. Right? But we have to control the mind with a purified intelligence. How do we purify our intelligence? By constant Shravanam. Right? Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karaya Udaya. Right? By Shravana Adi means what else we do? We do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Samaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. This Angas of Bhakti. The 9 Angas of Bhakti we perform. And what does it do? Starting with Shravanam. Right? Shuddha Chitta. It makes our consciousness pure. Shuddha Chitta. Kare Udaya. Kare Udaya means what? We were just discussing in the Brahma Murta session, isn't it? Kare Udaya means something that is awakening is already there. Like for example, we talk about Surya Udaya. Surya Uday means the sun is already there. The sun is rising means it's coming in front of our eyes. We are able to perceive the sun with our eyes. Right? That does not mean that the sun was not there at all, isn't it? Similarly, Krishna consciousness is there in our heart already in a dormant state. Right? By Shravana Adi, by doing Shravanam Kirtanam, what are we going to do? We are going to reawaken our dormant Krishna consciousness, so that we realize that we are supposed to be actually engaging in the service of the Lord 24 hours a day. Right? That Krishna consciousness, that love for Krishna, which is already there in our heart, which is dormant in our heart, which is being buried by our other desires of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. When all of that is removed by the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, then this dormant Krishna consciousness actually comes up. And then we are able to continuously engage according to the propensity of our soul. Right now, our mind is covering it. Above that, there is another layer of this gross body, all and our senses. They are all trying to enjoy sense gratification, because of which the eternal propensity of the soul is got covered completely in this maze. So by studying Srila Prabhupada's books, by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, although the mind may wander here, there and everywhere, we will be able to bring the mind to a point where we are able to focus on chanting Hare Krishna Mantra and then use our intelligence to direct our mind to engage the senses in the service of the Lord. And that is the process of purification. And when we reach that particular level of purification where we become pure devotees, then we don't have to really pull the mind back, because we become then Raga Anuga Bhaktas. We follow in the footsteps of those Ragatmika Bhaktas who have such a natural taste for serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So until we get that taste, we have to practice the sadhana bhakti. We have to reiterate to our mind what is good for us. And then, just like the doctor gives a prescription, we have to follow that prescription until we get well, isn't it? Similarly, we are in a materially diseased state of mind. So we have to follow this prescription given by Prabhupada, right? ABCD square. Sindhu Mataji is asking, what is ABCD square? ABCD square is a formula given by Prabhupada. A is association of devotees. B is studying books of Prabhupada, Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. C is chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. D is engaging in devotional service, having only a diet of Krishna Prasadam. And D is also Dhamavas. That means we make our home the spiritual abode of the Lord, where everything is centered around the Lord. That is the Dham. So we do this ABCD square for the pleasure of the Lord, wherever we are, right? So that was one of the questions asked on the chat box. I hope that's clear. All right. So, so what was I saying? Yes. So we have this human form of life. We have all the facilities. We have Prabhupada's books. We can purify our intelligence by studying Prabhupada's books. And then we can direct our mind and engage the senses in the service of the Lord. Until such a stage that we reach where we are able to spontaneously render service for the pleasure of the Lord, we have to reiterate ourselves. This is only good for me. I should be doing this. I should wake up during Brahma Murta and chant Hare Krishna. I hear Bhagavatam every day. Like that, when we keep telling ourselves this, then what happens? Automatically, we will reach that stage where we naturally want to serve the Lord in the mode of spontaneity. Okay, Hare Krishna, we'll stop here. We will do a quick 2-minute Harinam Sankirtan. Before that, let's see who all we have today in our Nectar of Devotion session. I hope this timing is working out well for all. So we'll keep it at 12:30 now. Hare Krishna. All right. So we have Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji. Mataji, what is the time? 1 a.m. Oh, sorry. Once again. Sorry. Let me give everyone the chance to unmute themselves. Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji will. What is the time?
1:45 a.m.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Please bless us that may we also develop this enthusiasm to hear and read Srila Prabhupada's books. The enthusiasm that you have, please inspire us, Mataji. We are very, very
Mataji, I don't want to miss your lessons, Mataji.
Mataji,
actually you are the inspiration.
I'm grateful to you, Mataji. You are inspiring me. I mean, you are very much inspiring. I'm very, very grateful to you, Mataji. I'm so sorry because I'm getting a lot of messages from devotees.
It's okay, Mataji. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine.
I'm so grateful to you, Mataji. You're the inspiration, if I can say that. Thank you very much. So we have Karpagavalli Mataji, we have Sindhu Mataji, Meenakshi Mataji, we have Leena Mataji, we have Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji, and all the other Matajis. Thank you so much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Today we have a full Mataji session. Sridhar Prabhu is not seen to have joined today, and others also. All right. So thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai.
Krishna Mataji.
Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Yes, Meenakshi
Mataji, could I request you to say ABCD once more, Mataji? I didn't really. A is Association of Devotees, right, Mataji?
Yeah.
B is book study.
Book study, which is especially Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam is the saram of everything. So Bhagavata Sevaya. C is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. D is D square. We say D square is diet of Krishna Prasadam and making our home a dham, dhamvas. Staying in the dham, it eternally means staying in Mathura, Mayapur, Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri. But since we are not qualified to stay in the dhams for a long period of time, because we are in illusion, we make our home a dham, so that we qualify someday to eternally be in the dham.
Okay, Mataji. Mataji, just a small question,
Mataji. Bhagavatam class, Mataji. Please start Bhagavatam class, Mataji.
Mataji, we'll do a progress one, slowly. Now first we have to complete the books of Prabhupada, small books. Then we'll go to Bhagavad Gita. Then we will go to Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, that is there in the
Mataji,
agenda. Time will come.
I would
Yes.
like to share a small thing, Mataji. Thursday I had requested a Mataji here in Coimbatore temple, and Friday I got Bhagavatam book set home, Mataji, in a very short
Very
span,
well.
and that too delivered by Bhakti Vinod Swami Maharaj here, who is the Maharaj of Coimbatore. Mataji, I just want to know for how long or what is the minimum time you would say that we should read Bhagavatam having the book at home? Is there any specific way of studying it and the time or anything?
Yes, there is a specific way that every day you have to read. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Every day you have to read and go from one canto to another. Not although the seventh canto is teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. It's very interesting. I want to read there. But we can read the small books of Prabhupada. That's why Prabhupada has given all small books also. Whichever pastime you want, you can read Prabhupada's small books. But when we study Bhagavatam, we go in sequence. First canto, verse by verse, with word-to-word translation, with the translation, with the word meaning, word meaning, then full translation of the verse, then the purport. Like that if you go. And I would also suggest that since you have the set at home, you have it as a family time with your family. 10 minutes together with the family. Even if it's not possible in the morning, you can do in the night before going to sleep. We were doing it earlier, but my daughter is in the 12th standard, and now people have their own priorities. But best is doing it together with family, especially when we have small children. Because we can nicely groom them. So now at least I have left to Prabhupada, right? They have their studies, everyday exams, etc. But we are happy we've given them the foundation. Now it is for them how they take it forward, right? So yeah, that's all we can do. We just have to
started off, Mataji, on Sunday as a family, but introduction itself is so in detail that we sat for 45 minutes, still we haven't completed the introduction.
Yeah, actually somebody was mentioning in the class that the 18,000 verses of Bhagavatam will take like so many years and all. But if we just read the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that means Prabhupada has given the entire essence in the first canto. If you're able to complete the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that means, and then, we should, even when we progress towards second, third, fourth, we should always keep in mind that first canto, we should always come back to it. We should always read the first canto 3-4 times at least. My Guru Maharaj says first canto is very, very important. We have to read the first canto many times because so much, the more, it's like Bhagavad Gita. When we read the Bhagavad Gita again and again, we get more and more realizations. Like that, the first canto is, Prabhupada has given us everything in the first canto because Prabhupada was not sure whether he will survive till the end of the Bhagavatam series. So Prabhupada has given us entire thing in every purport of Bhagavatam, first canto. So we should read. Yeah, we should not think that I want to complete the study of Bhagavatam, but every day, whatever little we read, we should try to apply in our life. That is a greater success. And
Mataji, he completed. Mataji, he completed the Bhagavatam, no, Mataji. Fully completed, no, Mataji, Bhagavatam. Prabhupada completed everything, no, Mataji.
Prabhupada, completed till the 10th canto.
He completed
10th canto, Brahma Vimohan Leela. That is what Prabhupada gave. He was actually giving out the purports till the last days of his life. And after that, the remaining were completed by Prabhupada's disciples.
Mataji, one quick question, Mataji. Nowadays, everywhere there's temples and all book distribution going on, right? So if we cannot go very, very far off places, like, so if you're not well, if you're having periods and all that, you can't go. Well, how can we substitute that, Mataji? Or rather...
Substitute what?
No, because it's, if we cannot do it directly, is there any other way to...
No, I don't know. I didn't understand the question.
He's saying, how can we contribute to book distribution, isn't it, Mataji?
If you're not able to physically go and do the service.
Yeah, you sponsor, na? Sponsor for book distribution.
Yes, Mataji.
We have received 200 plus book sponsorship. So we are going to give it to certain ISKCON temples, like certain forums. What they will do, they will distribute to orphanages, prison house, because sometimes we are actually instruments. We connect the demand and supply. That is what we do, right? We facilitate the books availability, and the Prabhupada says there are takers everywhere. We only need to meet the demand and supply. So these people, they have contacts of orphanages where they cannot afford the books. Orphanages, old age homes. Then you have this prison houses.
Now this Margari flowers and all, they are asking to contribute. I tell every month I come to temple, I give my money. But they say, no, that is not enough. You have to give 2,000.
No, no.
Like they're going on increasing.
Mataji, see, for each person, it is not an absolute amount, right? We know what we can contribute, and Krishna knows what we can contribute. Like I was mentioning the other day, you should feel the pinch of our contribution. You should feel the pinch of our contribution. If a person has 1 lakh and he gives 10 rupees, then Krishna will see. That is the principle, right? The details, we don't want to discuss each one's details, how much each one can give, how much each one should give. There is no prescribed amount. Okay? The principle is
Yeah, Mataji. I don't know how to convince that Mataji.
You don't have to convince anybody, Mataji. Whom do you want to convince? You just tell this principle, how much ever you want to contribute, you contribute, but you should feel the pinch. You can contribute 1 Bhagavad Gita 270 if that is difficult. Contribute 108 if that is difficult. Contribute 10 rupees. That is difficult. Contribute 1 rupee. That's fine. If a person is earning 10 rupees and is giving 1 rupee, that is very wonderful. If a person is earning 1 lakh and is giving 1 rupee, Krishna knows. Krishna knows how much each person has. We don't have to prove to anybody. We don't have to justify to anybody. Our Guru is there. Chaitya Guru in our hearts is Krishna himself. We don't have to please anybody. According to our capacity, no amount is small, no amount is huge. Because whatever we have is given to us by Krishna. Right? We are only giving back to Krishna. So no amount is big or no amount is small. But I would request everybody, in whatever yatra you are hearing and you are gaining knowledge, you should contribute in all those yatras. At least I try to do that. Now all the Shiksha Gurus, because they have all been instrumental in my practicing bhakti today, right? They all help me survive in Krishna consciousness, isn't it? I contribute to all of those yatras according to our capacity, right? It's not that we have to have our names in the top list of all the yatras, right? It's not that. That means we are not aspiring for the right goal. That is also important. So we need to strike a balance. What is good for me may not be good for another person. What may be a huge amount for me may not be a huge amount for another person. To each one, their own. Just contribute according to your capacity and feel the pinch. That is important. All right, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, this timing is fixed now. Because every time it's last time you told us 6 o'clock is the final.
12:15 p.m. what time the class is going to be. But now I'm seeking forgiveness from Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji, and we will fix this time 12:30 p.m. I would request Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji, please here on YouTube. Please don't take the trouble of staying back so early in the morning. Please listen on YouTube. Although I feel so happy to see you, your darshan, it purifies me also. But I would request that, if possible, please watch on YouTube. Please don't affect your morning schedule of japa. Unless you want to wake up so early and finish your 16 rounds and chant extra rounds, and then I'm so happy if you're doing that. But don't affect your morning japa schedule for this. You can always watch on YouTube. Okay, Mataji?
Sure.
Where is Mataji?
Mataji is in Canada.
Oh my
When are you back in Mumbai, Mataji?
I think by February end, Mate.
Okay, so you just have a month to go.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
What happened to that 6 o'clock timing? Last time you told, no, 6 o'clock is the final. What happened?
Yeah, but I'm getting messages, Mataji. What people are WhatsApping me that evening children are home, children trouble us. Then we have to take our children to the garden, and some of them saying we go for walking.
Okay.
So actually for me also evening is good because morning we start nicely. Evening Sandhya Kal also I thought of doing it. But then maximum devotees wanted in the afternoon. So we have to adjust. I'm also trying to adjust my schedule around this. I have another class which just ends at 12:15 where I'm hosting. And then I'm like, I keep the cooker, I come and attend the session and then I go and make the remaining part.
Mataji, this way we are always remembering Krishna.
Yeah.
Morning, afternoon, evening.
Plan our activities according to Krishna Katha. We plan our activities around.
Actually, today I could not attend the class, no, because I was thinking it is 6 o'clock. I just saw, then I log in.
Yeah. So we had asked for votes and all. So maximum votes for this. So now we will keep it steady, Mataji. 12:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And then we'll all do Krishna Katha and we plan all our activities around it. Only exception is Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji will not be able to join. But February end onwards, we will expect Mataji to join every day and continue to inspire us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.